My name is Bohan Gao, and today I'm going to give you a early point feedback on the project that I'm doing for the Computer Science 419 Learning Analytics. The topic that I chose for this project is the group of one version of the group number 3 from the project suggestions, which is using the LinkedIn API for learning skill sets from users and job postings. I'm going to narrow my focus to specific types of users and in my project, and as well as the job postings in the same area. And then I'm going to do simple data analysis to visualize their skills, for example, most common skills, and also the skills that are needed in the job postings, for example, most sought after skills. And the desired output for my project is that I'm going to give out 5 to 10 most popular skills that the young developers, programmers, and young soft engineers, what kind of skills do they have. Similarly, I'm going to give out 5 to 10 most sought after skills by the employers. And then I'm going to visualize all this data and then put them into graphs. Next, I'm going to compare the similarity of the skill set of the young developers and the high in demand skills in the job market. In the end, I'm going to give my suggestions to the young developers based on the result of the analysis. For example, what kind of skills you may be not aware of before, but it can actually help you get hired. And I think this is meaningful because um, for myself, I'm a fourth year computer science student, and I'm about to graduate. Then I'm going to the job market, and for knowing the what kind of job can get you a what kind of skills can actually get you a job is really important. So here's my plan for my project. Firstly, I'm going to get familiar to this LinkedIn API and other websites that provides information on the tech-related job market. Then I'm going to write a code in Python that can go through a number of programmers and then collect their skill set of each of them, then list 10 most popular skills among them. In the same idea, I'm going to write out the code that can go through a number of job postings and then collect the skill requirements of each of them. Then I'm going to list 10 most high in demand skills. After all of this data collected, I'm going to visualize those data, and in the end, I'm going to give out my own suggestions based on the result of all my analysis. So where I am, I just complete the step number 1, which is to get familiar with the LinkedIn API. I understand I'm a little bit far behind, and the reason I think is this LinkedIn to get the access to this LinkedIn API. It's kind of difficult compared to the GitHub API that we all familiar with because we use that API for our assignment 3. So how do you get the API access? To get this API access token, I have to fill out this form. I have to um, fill in the name of my application, and I also have to set up a fake company in the LinkedIn, and then a app logo is also needed for this application. Once you complete the application, you have this application credentials, which is client ID and client secret. And also you need to have a redirect URL. And for my project, I'm most not likely to have a URL in my project. So the solution to that is to host up my own local host and write some PHP scripts in it to receive the access token there. And the the idea of this is to send out both client ID and the client secret to that API, and the API will send the access token to the localhost server. So here are my future work. In the next 2 weeks, I'm going to complete some PHP code that actually receives the API access token. From there, I can write some more PHP code which can get the data from the LinkedIn API. Then I'm going to store those data onto my local machine. And the next step is to use those data that's stored in the local machine and put them into a Python program that cleans them and put them into graphs so I can do further analysis. In the end, I'm going to give out my suggestions based on the data and the result of the analysis, and then complete the project document. And thank you for listening.